put it online so people who couldn't be able to be here for any reason, they can see it later on. Actually, we are speaking to the world. Internet, thank God, it goes to every corner of the world so far. So what we say today will go there. If you have a question later on, please speak loud so that the microphone would capture your question. And I'll ask our speaker to kindly repeat it so it comes into camera and then in the video so people can listen to your question and to his answers as well. With this, it's 7 o'clock, so we'll start. Well, here is another session of the EIU Symposium on Science and Technology. Welcome to Revolutions. Revolutions in Science and Technology Paradigms, where technology and science changed the way we live. Science and technology has this power, make us able to do things that we otherwise couldn't do, or even think we can do. I mean, people are always dreamed about flying, but never, has many attempts. But here is technology enables us to put ourselves in an airplane and fly. So everybody of us say, I will fly to India, I will fly to whatever. But you and I know that we don't fly, but we get into a technological achievement. Today we have a special session with technology with my friend, Dr. Tom Grissom. And I will not spend time introducing him, but I have known him for a long time. He is a very engaging speaker, and he is very knowledgeable in his topic and very entertaining, so you wouldn't fall asleep. Before we do this, would you please, do you have one like this? I want you please to wave it at me like this. And I want you please to say thank you, Kendra. Okay. She did this in a very short time notice and with many changes. One of the changes happened literally when this has already gone to the print. And I frantically panicked, where is Kendra? I couldn't locate her because she was on the move. But we were able to locate her, and she told me, Dr. Wabi, it's under control, it's corrected, and it went to the print. So thank you, Kendra. Will you give us her? Thank you very much. Of course, this would go to your team as well, so that we acknowledge everybody who worked with you. Now, without much ado, I would leave it for our esteemed speaker, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wabi. Pleasure to be here tonight. And what I would like to do tonight is just kind of do an overview. You know, Dr. Wabi mentioned we're talking about revolutions in science and technology. I work here. I'm the director of the Instructional Technology Center here in the College of Education Professional Studies. So I really try to pay attention to what's going on in really all the disciplines today, but particularly in the computing environment. And this revolution that we're going through, this is, I hesitate to call it revolution or evolution because I see the evolutionary changes as we march through time. And we're definitely all moving toward the mobile world. I just saw a stat yesterday. Google had a stat on their site that now 40% of the traffic from YouTube is now going to the mobile devices. So that's a huge chunk of traffic. And that's all thanks to science, technology, the miniaturization, the increases in processing power, and at the same time, the efficiency of the power because the battery life is tied to our mobile devices. I won't say how old I am, but I've been doing this 20 going on 30 years. And this device right here was my first mobile device. So whenever we pick this up, weighs about 30 pounds. Used to remember hauling this around, thought I was really something. I had a computer I could take around in a suitcase with me. Circa about 1985, and there we go. Dual 5 1/4 floppies, and we were set. You know, we were styling back then. So we've gone from this to a cell phone, which is like 1,000,000 times more powerful than the power that we had available there. As we marched along, early 2000s, again, big step ups, like, wow, this isn't 30 pounds anymore, so I can at least carry this. The tablet PC revolution with the styluses and things. Moving through 2000, let's see, 2007, the iPhone, 2010, the Apple iPad. Now we're getting down to about £1.50. Now we're talking. Last year, 2011, I guess it was, the little Nexus 7 devices coming out, a little 7-inch device, getting even more portable. So I'll be mentioning, I'll be talking about Android, Apple, and Windows. I'll focus mainly on Windows because that's kind of what we concentrate, or the equipment that we have available to us. So I'd just like to kind of step through some of the things. One of the other revolutions that are going on, or is currently going on in teaching and learning, is something called, I'll get out here. Oh, I need to mention, if you write nothing else down, this is our ITC website, eiu.edu/ITC. A lot of notes and things that I referenced tonight will be available there. And if I scroll on down, whoops, has anybody heard of a MOOC? M-O-C, what do you know a MOOC to be?
It's like where you can cooperate with large groups of people online.
Right.
It's predominant in education to facilitate distance learning.
Last year, exactly, it has to do with distance learning. MOOC, Massive Open Online Courses, is what it stands for. 2012 was named Year of the MOOC. And in our realm, in higher education, let me go out here and go to a link here. I'm going to go out to some notes, and let me jump out here. I'm going to kind of live by the sword, die by the sword here tonight because this is on tablets and cloud technology. It's emerging technology. So we're going to be going out to the cloud quite a bit tonight. And I've got prepared some notes. So what I'm trying to do tonight is kind of model what this talk is about using the cloud computing. So if I click over here, this is a program called OneNote. Do any of you happen to use OneNote? Heard of OneNote? OneNote is an online note-taking tool. You may also be familiar possibly with Evernote. Anybody using Evernote? Or the other big one out there on iOS right now, Notability, is really starting to rise through the ranks. But if you are a college student, say, and you are needing to take notes, this is an excellent way to keep track of them. So what I've done is I made my notes available. So if I add any links tonight, I'll give you a link after this presentation. You'll be able to see exactly in real time what we're doing. So this is an infographic. Everybody here is probably familiar with the infographics and things. But trends in MOOCs, massive open online courses. Scroll on down. It says that 74% now offer colleges, universities. I've got some articles here. Now, Dr. Wabi mentioned that we have some research people in class. One of the key things whenever you're doing research is coming up with a strategy to keep track of this avalanche of information that you're finding and coming to you. Excuse me. One of the nice things about OneNote, if I can zoom in on this a little bit, zoom in a little bit here, is you will see here a link that says Trends in Massive Open Online Courses infographic. It tells me where I got it, gives me the URL, and it says this screen clipping was taken 10/21 at 7:14 p.m. So I did that last night, preparing for the talk. If I go on down, Year of the MOOC, 3 big organizations now starting. Has anybody heard of edX? In the higher education world, I believe, not sure if Stanford's involved, Harvard and Stanford, I believe, involved with this, but this is a for-profit venture going out there wanting to essentially teach the world. So edX is a big one. Scroll on down here for some more notes. Coursera, anybody heard of Coursera? And scrolling on down, Udacity. Udacity was started by Sebastian Thrun, and he has envisioned, I think I copied a screen clipping here from Udacity. It's currently serving 90,000 students. And let's scroll on across here. After enrollment of 160,000 as of September 30th, 2013, you're offering, and this seemed like a small number. Anybody see the number of classes? Free computer science classes. That's the other thing right now. These are funded by venture capital. So everybody's trying to get their foot in the door of all of these different things. Let me zoom back out here. And the other one, do we have any K-12 pre-service teachers in here? Couple. The other big one, and maybe for those outside of the discipline, let me jump out here and go out to my desktop. Have any of you heard of the Khan Academy? K-H-A-N, okay? The Khan Academy has gotten a lot of notoriety. In fact, he's on mainstream TV. I saw a commercial the other day. They partnered up with Bank of America doing financial classes or financial courses. So what I've done here, this is a TED Talk. If you don't know about TED Talks, you probably also need to investigate that. It stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Devices. These are some of the world's top thinkers out there. They get 20 minutes to present their ideas to the world. And it's out there online. They've got a nice red carpet stage and everything. So I'm going to play this little video clip. This is going to set the stage for what I want to talk about, something called learning analytics and some of the cutting edge science that's going on with teaching and learning. So let me just open this up and play this. Like I said, it's about 6 minutes. I might turn off a couple of lights here. We'll see how it looks here. But he sets the stage really well for how his company is doing something called flipped learning, where students watch a video, then they go through and do a curriculum and test on it. So let's just take a watch of this.
How do we take this to the next level? How do we take what those teachers were doing to their natural conclusion? And so what I'm showing over here, these are actual exercises that I started writing for my cousin. The ones I started were much more primitive. This is kind of a more competent version of it. But the paradigm here is we'll generate as many questions as you need until you get that concept. Until you get 10 in a row. And the Khan Academy videos are there. You get hints, the actual steps for that problem if you don't know how to do it. But the paradigm here, it seems like a very simple thing, 10 in a row, you move on. But it's fundamentally different than what's happening in classrooms right now. In a traditional classroom, you have a couple of homework lecture, and then you have a snapshot exam. And that exam, whether you get a 70%, an 80%, a 90%, or 95%, the class moves on to the next topic. And even that 95% student, what was the 5% they didn't know? Maybe they didn't know what happens when you raise something to the zero power. And then you go build on that in the next concept. That's analogous to, imagine learning to ride a bicycle. And I give you a bicycle, maybe I give you a lecture ahead of time, and I give you that bicycle for 2 weeks, and then I come back after 2 weeks, and I say, well, let's see, you're having trouble taking left turns, you can't quite stop. You're an 80% bicyclist. So I put a big C stamp on your forehead, and then I say, here's the unicycle. But as ridiculous as that sounds, that's exactly what's happening in our classrooms right now. And the idea is that you fast forward and good students start failing algebra all of a sudden and start failing calculus all of a sudden, despite being smart, despite having good teachers, and it's usually because they have these Swiss cheese gaps that kept building throughout their foundation. So our model is learn math the way you would learn anything, like the way you would learn a bicycle. Stay on that bicycle. Fall off that bicycle. Do it as long as necessary until you have mastery. The traditional model, it penalizes you for experimentation and failure, but it does not expect mastery. We encourage you to experiment. We encourage you to failure, but we do expect mastery. This is just another one of the models. This is trigonometry. This is shifting and reflecting functions. And they all fit together. We have about 90 of these right now. And you can go to the site right now. It's all free, not trying to sell anything. But the general idea is that they all fit into this knowledge map. That top node right there, that's literally single digit addition. It's like 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And the paradigm is once you get 10 in a row on that, then it keeps forwarding you to more and more advanced modules. So if you keep this, go further down the knowledge map, we're getting into more advanced arithmetic. Further down, you start getting into pre-algebra and early algebra. Further down, you start getting into algebra 1, algebra 2, a little bit of pre-calculus. And the idea is from this, we can actually teach everything. Well, everything that can be taught in this type of a framework. So you can imagine, and this is what we are working on, is from this knowledge map, you have logic, you have computer programming, you have grammar, you have genetics, all based off of that core of, okay, if you know this and that, now you're ready for this next concept. Now that can work well for an individual learner, and I encourage one for you to do it with your kids, but I also encourage everyone in the audience to do it yourself. It'll change what happens at the dinner table. But what we want to do is use the natural conclusion of the flipping of the classroom that those early teachers had emailed me about. And so what I'm showing you here, this is actually data from a pilot in the Los Altos School District, where they took 2 5th grade classes and 2 7th grade classes and completely gutted their old math curriculum. These kids aren't using textbooks, they're not getting one-size-fits-all lectures, they're doing Khan Academy, they're doing that software for roughly half of their math class. And I want to make it clear, we don't view this as a complete math education. What it does is, and this is what's happening in Los Altos, it frees up time. This is the blocking and tackling, making sure you know how to do the system of equation, and it frees up time for the simulations, for the games, for the mechanics, for the robot building, for the estimating how high that hill is based on its shadow. And so the paradigm is the teacher walks in every day, every kid works at their own pace, and a teacher this is actually a live dashboard from Los Altos School District, and they look at this dashboard. Every row is a student, every column is one of those concepts. Green means the student's already proficient, blue means that they're working on it, no need to worry, red means that they're stuck. And what the teacher does is literally just says, let me intervene on the red kids. Or even better, let me get one of the green kids who are already proficient in that concept to be the first line of attack and actually tutor their peer. Now, I kind of come from a very data-centric reality, so we don't want that teacher to even go and intervene and have to ask the kid awkward questions. Oh, what do you not understand, or what do you do understand, and all of the rest. So our paradigm is to really arm the teachers with as much data as possible, really data that in almost any other field is expected if you're in finance or marketing or manufacturing, and so the teachers can actually diagnose what's wrong with the students so that they can make their interaction as productive as possible. So now the teachers know exactly what the students have been up to, how long they've been spending every day, what videos have they been watching, when did they pause the videos, what did they stop watching, what exercises are they using. What have they been focused on? The outer circle shows what the exercises they're focused on. The inner circle shows the videos they're focused on. And the data gets pretty granular, so you can actually see the exact problems that the student got right or wrong. Red is wrong, blue is right. The leftmost question is the first question that the student attempted. They watched the video right over there. And then you can see eventually they were able to get 10 in a row. It's almost like you can almost see them learning over those last 10 problems. They also got faster. The height is how long it took them.
Okay, so what do you think about that? Is that going to be the way of the future? Comments? Any of you have accelerated reader, accelerated math, in your either middle school or high school years? Let's go over here. Go over here. There we go. Connected here, wired, have another tablet here. Let me close this one out. And there's actually an app out there for the Khan Academy. So I'm just going to go out there right now, open up the app, and this is real time, so we're seeing what he has available now. And last count he was well over 3,000. He might be over 4,000 different videos. You name the subject for a K-12 curriculum, everything from 1 + 1 = 2 all the way through calculus now. He has that out there. A lot of people are using this for remedial work. If you're getting ready to do a ACT or a GRE and you have, as he says, those Swiss cheese holes in your knowledge, the gaps and things, there's a little video out there. Let me just randomly go out here and let's choose one. Let's just go to calculus. Let's go to taking derivatives since we have a lot of engineering folks in here. And we can come back here, all the different videos and things you can see available here. Let's just choose one. Okay, now this is the map. This is a curriculum map. So this is scope and sequence in a curriculum, the prerequisite knowledge that we need to have that so often, as he says, in a regular classroom with whole group instruction, you got that 1 week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday you have a cumulative test. And as he said, like riding a bicycle, if you don't get what was going on with Tuesday, tough, because next week we're on to the next chapter and we're going to go on to the next thing. So there's some sound pedagogical structure involved with this, but I worry about being a little bit too mechanistic out there thinking that, boom, 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 boom. When there's, in our college, we always say teaching's a science and an art. We need both pieces to that. And the big things going on with the MOOCs, with the Coursera, the edX, I think a lot of venture capitalists are really getting big-eyed saying, wow, I could have one instructor teaching 100,000 students, and have all of these other things and let the computer go out there and grade that. And that's where we're going right now, trend-wise. So we'll see what happens in another 5 or 10 years, but I think they'll get their eyes open on the pedagogy side, how important that is for it. So let's see, I lost this. So like I said, let's go back math, if I can remember what I just chose. Taking derivatives, and I'll just play a minute of this for you guys just to get an idea. Here's using secant, slope of a secant and curve. So this is a little 10-minute video. Let's just click on here.
Review the idea of slope, which you might.
And let's go to full screen.
The table gives a position S of a motorcyclist for t between 0 and 3, including 0 and 3. This is just saying that t is part of the interval, or t in the interval between 0 and 3.
Dreaded word problems.
Here, where the distance traveled S is measured in meters, and t is time in seconds. Assume the motorcyclist is accelerating during the 3-second period, and they give us the information. This is time between 0 seconds and 3 seconds, and here we have the corresponding distance that you can view as a function of time. The average velocity for t between 1.5 and 2. So t between 1.5 and
Oops, I'm sorry, I hit that. You get the idea, I don't want to play too much of it, but he literally has, as I said, 3,000. If you go in and sign in with a user ID and password, that way you can be tracked. I mean, they have to have a user ID to go against, and I don't know how anybody feels about that. You guys okay with everybody knowing how many math problems, out of 300 math problems, I got 295 right, and I did with 80% proficiency or whatever? That is, again, another concern that we need to raise as we go through this technological revolution, evolution, whatever you want to call it, that very few people, I think, are thinking about right now. Did you guys catch in the news last week? It might have been this week, but Google just changed their terms of service. How many of you use Google Docs? Anybody using those? Google Docs this week, and I noticed G+, Hangouts, things like that. I noticed whenever I signed into my Gmail account, they made me say, hey, we just recently changed our terms of service, and of course, you get here, click here to read the terms, or okay, got it, go on, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to say got it, go on. But what was one of the changes in the terms of service was, like particularly for G+, if you're involved with that community, you're giving Google the right to use your name to advertise other products that you like or +1. Facebook, is starting to do something similar out there. So I think we need to at least raise those issues, and I'm concerned about it because I don't want to randomly go out, on Facebook and something and say oh, Dr. Grissom likes this or that, but that literally, when you agree to those terms of service, that's what you're giving these companies permission to do.
Now, if you don't agree, you are out.
Then you don't use the term. You don't use the service. So there's this thing, it's a free service, but define free. Because in my opinion, you're giving up some privacy and some rights there. This is a big discussion. I expect a lawsuit. Somebody's going to say, that's my endorsement. If you're going to use my name to endorse a product, I should at least have, something in return to do that.
They are hating the free service, the free.
That's what you're giving up in return. Another concern, I don't know if I get a chance here at the end of this, but because we deal with K-12, in fact, I just saw today, there was a little company out in Cupertino. Anybody see the announcements today? Anybody keep track of the iPad announcements? iPad, what are we on, 5? Whatever the next version of the iPad. They announced out this afternoon in Cupertino. They've got a new iLive suite, broadband and everything. And one of the big things that they're doing is something called in-app purchases. Some of you may be involved with that. But, if you hand, your middle schooler an iPad, and suddenly Dad gets a bill for $356 for all these in-app purchases, that's a problem. Now, yes, they do have things password protected, and with the iPhone, with the new iPhones, they have the fingerprint readers, although there's hacks around it as well. I saw one picture of some crafty little child grabbing her dad's thumbprint when he was asleep on the couch and putting it on the iPhone. The first day, did I catch that picture? So, security is always an arms race. You put up something, then somebody figures a way around it. So, be aware of that. These are services that we kind of take for granted today. You guys are, literally going through this. And some of these free services, there are certainly some strings attached to them. So be careful with that. All right, so other things on the tablet side of things, one of the things I think I mentioned in my blurb in the program, I wanted to mention something about teaching on the fly, because these tablets give that flexibility to us now. We're connected here with Wi-Fi. I'm tethered. I don't know if I can connect my other. Let me see if I can get my other service going here. Let's go over here. My input. Here. Yep, we're connected right now. So anybody see what I just did? What's different? Put them on the wires. Completely wireless, doing video presentations. I dream of a teacher forever. I'm not tethered to that podium anymore. I can walk around. I had a student here, do this exercise for me. Class, everybody, let's go up and see what's going on. So I'm controlling the TV over there. So as I swipe through, here's all my apps. You can see in real time. Very, very little lag. Also, released today. Today was tablet day, and I chose that kind of on purpose, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because I knew that Microsoft was having their announcements on their new Surfaces. The Surfaces now have Miracast built into them, which means I can display wirelessly to a TV. Many of the new HD TVs have a Miracast receiver built in. This one is probably 4 or 5 years old, so it does not. But for $50, you can buy this little device here. That's a Miracast receiver. I've got a little transmitter going out the USB port here on the side, and that's what I need to transmit wirelessly. We've been able to do this for 5+ years with wireless transmitters. The problem was they were $400 or $500. So again, miniaturization, advancements in technology, processor, and everything. Those power requirements are coming down, and this is like magic, compared to where I started teaching. So we've got this available. Put in a plug for one of the podcasts that we do. We do a podcast called Tech Talk for Teachers. If you want to, we've got a little key here with just our ITC address right here.
This mic.
But
This mic going in
you
and
can
out.
listen to podcasts. Name the subject. There's a podcast out there. I'm kind of partial to audio because I can load it on an MP3 player, plug in my headphones, be driving down the road and learn. You name the topic, there's a podcast out there. This is one that we've done 6, I think going on 7 years. I've got a partner, Cindy Rich, who's the director of the Teaching with Primary Sources grant, and then our Chief Information Security Officer here at EIU, Mike Joya. We do a podcast, and let me just play our last episode. We're producing these about twice a month now, so let me just play this one. Just an introduction about EdChat and what it means to be. Okay. It's like a radio show. We start out with some music. Losing me? Yeah. Your battery's going out. Let's click that on. Test. 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm Tom Grissom.
I'm Cindy Rich.
I'm Mike Joya. Welcome to Tech Talk for Teachers, the show about teaching and learning with technology. And this month is Connected Educator. So today, that was a thank you.
I know it was. It
That's
was
a little
kind of
more
sad.
enthusiastic. I will edit it.
Oh,
No, I won't.
teachers.
So this month, okay, get some Wi-Fi issues there on the download. It's breaking up a little bit. But every show we do a technology pick of the week. Each one of us picks a technology, something new and current and up to date going on in the news. And I think I did a smartboard pick last time. So as I said, you name the subject, all kinds of podcatchers out there. We are also in iTunes University. So if you go out to your iTunes and do a search for Tech Talk for Teachers with the number 4, you should find us out there on iTunes. And if you so choose, you can subscribe and download it to your iPod or any other podcast of your choice out there. And as I said, there's both audio and video. So these are just a few examples that we have there. Other things. The other concern I have with data analytics and putting everything to a number, and this has just come over the years as a teacher and just observations. We definitely need to have engagement for a student to learn, but engagement, it's necessary but not sufficient. So we need to find hooks out there for them to learn something they're interested, authentic learning, something that's going to mean something. So podcast is a great way. You can do an assignment with your children. Let me just go out here. I'm going to choose Audacity. I'm also a huge proponent of free and open source software. This is 100% free. And just to show you how easy it is to put the podcast together like Tech Talk for Teachers, let's do this. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2013, and welcome to the Technology and Science Symposium, the first annual EIU event. That's it. All right, so if I go back here and play this back. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2013, and welcome to the Technology and Science Symposium, the first annual EIU event. All right. That's it. So I coughed, so I've got a couple of mistakes in there. I can literally, this is the other difference here with the Surface Pen, it's got a 1,024 points of pressure level. This is artistic. If you're an artist, you can actually use this to make some really nice drawings. I'm going to use it to select that last section out there, grab my keyboard, hit the backspace out, and I deleted that cough like it never happened. I can come out there very quickly, put this around. Let's go out here. Let's do File, go down to Import, and let's import some audio. And let me go out and let's just grab some Tom G 3-way. This is our Tech Talk for Teachers music. Let's open this up, say okay. So this second track, now we're doing some multi-track editing. This is the music here. I can just tell by the wave size that that's way loud. So let me see if I can turn the gain down here a little bit. And let me move. Typically you start off, music will play, then a person's voice will come in, just like on the radio, you hear music fade in, fade out. I'm not going to take the time right now to do that, but let's just go back here from the top. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2013, and welcome to the Technology and Science Symposium, the first annual EIU event. Okay, so we've got that there. We've got our bass music. Edit that, and an hour or two later, you've got a podcast after you go through and do that. So we just record our voices, add in the different sections. Between each section, we have transition music. So that's doing audio podcast. The other nice thing with the tablets, the other huge thing, since we're connected here to Wi-Fi, we can come out here, again, another teach on the fly. So now then, everybody's the star in the classroom. I didn't know you were going to get yourself, did you? Going through, so I can just stop that. I can actually record the video. I can come over here and change into camera mode. And let's see, what can I do? Let me just take a picture here of this keyboard. And then, all right, so I just took a snapshot. That put that out on the camera roll, just like it does on your phone, which I laid my phone down. You're lost without your phones today, aren't we? So I've got that taken care of. So now I can come out here. Let's open up a little program called Sketch, free in the App Store. I can come out here and let's change some photos out there. Let me just pick one. I'm going to pick, let's see. Oh, I'm in my SkyDrive, pictures. If I see my camera roll right there, it is. And then I can choose this one right here. And let's open that one up. So right there's the screenshot that I did. And then with Photor, one of the things that we try doing whenever we're learning new concepts and things, let me just make something real simple. just click this and say, press the space bar. Space bar, which one's that? It's that great big one right there. We can come out here, grab a marker. We can highlight over it. So we can annotate anything that we have on the fly. And what's really interesting, with LTE and some of the mobile services, you can buy tablets with LTE SIM card in them. I can be out, out in the field and project in real time back to my classroom like a Skype call or something. And literally what you're seeing here, the entire class will see. So you can have some really nice interactive field trips and things as well. Let me just open up some apps. Let's go back here. The other nice thing, go out here to sports. Go out here, let's open up. I think I had the Cardinals opened earlier. So, the other thing with the processors, again, it's just amazing what they're packing in. This is actually a full PC with an i5 processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabyte of solid state drive. So now then I'm multitasking. I can come out here and just flip through all the different apps and things that I have available to me. So that's a full-on PC. Another thing for the science and engineering types, I hope you've heard of this. Let me just jump back here and go back to the projector here. Let's go out here. Let's close this out. And let's go out. I hope you've all found Wolfram Alpha. Everybody found Wolfram Alpha? ALPHA.com. Everybody know about this site? It's a computational search engine. Google, we're all used to going out and Google and getting 1.3 million hits in a list. This is a computational search engine, so I can go out there and let's just type in an equation. Again, since I was science math teacher, let me just go out here and say y equals x squared. I'm going to use the hi-hat symbol. What's that? Science people? Math people? What? Here's a hint. Parabola. Okay. That literally, in real time, when I pressed enter, it took a second, and that was mostly due to delay in our wireless here. I've got a parabola out here. I've got it graphed. I can come down through here. If you're a little bit more advanced, you come down, what's the implicit derivative? It's doing all that on the fly. So anything that's in a high school algebra, trigonometry, or calculus, if you can type the equation in here, it can solve that problem for you. Back in my day when I was taking math, the answers to the odd problems were in the back of the book. Now then, all the answers are right here with Wolfram Alpha. Now when the teacher says, show me your work, then you're going to have to show the work to get there. But again, another revolution. This has been around, I'm going to say, about 3 years. In fact, anybody use a service called like Siri? Something like that. A lot of those questions get rerouted, go to Wolfram Alpha, come back, and translated in there. Now, for teaching and learning, what does this mean? It puts us back in that curiosity mode. It's like, well, that's a parabola. So if I'm just learning about parabolas, I might say, wonder what happens if we put a +3 on the end of this. Press enter, let's just find out. It's like, oh, there it is. It looks like it moved it up the y-axis 3 positions. Wonder what happens if I say -3. I remember my math teacher, clear as day, asking us this. It's like, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? And then we'd get the little hangman out, X, Y, and then plot, 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 fill it in. And a half hour later, we'd have a parabola. We can do it now instantaneously. So there we go, -3 on the Y. Amazing, absolutely amazing what this technology allows. Anybody seen that Wolfram Alpha before? Play around with it. It's not only math. Planes. Sure.
When you did that back then, it took you half an hour, and the processing in your mind was building up until you saw this. Now, you do it instantaneously, and you are kind of, Now, does this affect our wiring system here? Our new generation is different wired than?
it affects our patients, definitely. Back then we didn't know any better because that's the way everybody did it. But now then, and I do know, I've had conversations with math teachers. It's like, oh, don't tell my students about this. I don't want them to know. I mean, that's kind of one view, you know, bury my head in the sand, whatever. And then the other one, which I'm kind of in the other camp, it's like, this is great because now then I can satisfy that need for the curiosity and it accelerates my learning. It takes me to places I could not possibly have been before. And that's what the Khan Academy is finding out with some of those learning analytics. It would be really interesting to see, and I've seen several sets of data for it, but in a classroom environment, you know, we always talk about the learning curve. Well, guess what? It really is true. Whenever you look at the data with so many, you know, all the children out there solving all those problems, it's like, get it, and then boom, a light bulb comes on, and then they take it up, and then they'll plateau, and then they'll go to that next level. Literally, that's how we're building knowledge out there. And as he said, I don't know if you caught the statement that I love, we can actually see children learning. We have never had that capability out there before.
Now, I will give an example, and you correct me in that. Back then, if somebody said, I want to go to India, for example, the mind would go, oh, that's 3 months of travel by this or that. So you have built in 3 months in your mind or 4 months or something, crossing the Atlantic and. But now, in 16, 18 hours, you can go there and start working in other land faster. So what I'm trying to, I want you to correct me that the time, the half hour that took you 30 years ago or something to come up with this was not really educational. It was not. It was just because we didn't know more better.
It was drudgery, mechanical work to get there.
But your generation will arrive this fast and proceed from there to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct?
Yes, I believe so. And the person in India, I have several conversations with people in India every day. It takes about 30 seconds. You know, we're instantly connected. If anybody involved with Twitter, anybody on Twitter? If you're on Twitter, if you want to follow me, Tom Grissom, all lowercase letters. But I've developed a PLN, a professional learning network out there with educators all across the world. And I know in particular India because he just had the cyclone out there, so you know we were worried about safety and things. But yeah, that's instantaneous. Not only that, but it's the relevance, it's the connection, it's the global audience out there because we realize, and being a scientist, this little blue marble we call planet Earth, we are limited in resources and things out there. I don't know, if we hit 7 billion people on the planet now, you know, plus you look at the projections out there, 2030, 2040, 2050. So those types of questions you can ask. You know, Wolfram Alpha. Here's one, it also does some English language translation. This one here, just out of curiosity, I put planes overhead. So if you were to go out right now, Southwest Airlines Flight 2362 is 32,400 feet, 32 degrees up. It's tapped into the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. So all that data is out there and available. Just massive quantities of data is being consumed. How many people are going to use it? I don't know. That was just random out there. Show you something else. If I just type in the word weather into Wolfram Alpha, it will come up and it will say, it's going to make the best guess of what I wanted. All I said was the word weather, and it says rain, 46 degrees, tonight 42 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees. Current weather for Charleston, Illinois. I didn't tell them I was in Charleston, Illinois. How'd it know? My IP address. Every computer in the world has a unique IP address that's going through a DNS, a domain name service. It can be resolved and it knows exactly where you're at. Same thing's happening with your phones and things. So you are leaving digital footprints all the time out there. Okay. Just out of curiosity, what is the population of the world? $7.13 billion people. There's the chart. Look at this over here on the side. See this chart right here? You know, 4,000, 2000 BC, 0 AD, 2000. What happened here? Look at the explosive growth in population. Why? What happened? Anybody? 1800s, Industrial Revolution occurred. What did that allow? Medical care is increasing, so we're definitely living longer, so that's part of this big, huge buildup. Also, advancements in agriculture. We just did not have the food to feed that population out there. Advancements in genetics in the 1950s coming through. You know, in the 1950s, you know, 50, 100 bushel per acre corn out there. Now, in this part of Illinois, the breadbasket of the world's richest farmland out there, there are some, you know, 200 is not uncommon out there from 1 acre of land. So, again, advancements in science and technology, but there are consequences, unintended consequences sometimes. So here we go, skyrocketing through the population. What's that going to mean in the future? Okay. Let's see. Got my count here. Oh, I'm still connected here. So let me go back here. So again, I'm connected wirelessly. Let's just go back through here. One other thing I want to show you. There's an application out there called Record Voice and Pen. I do a lot of screencasts. I have a YouTube channel out there, but just to show you how easy it is to record a lesson. Going to go out here. Let's make a quick recording. And let me just go out there and grab a red pen. I'm going to choose my pen color here, so I'll choose red. Let's start the recording, and let's just do that. Y equals x squared. Back in the day, as I said, we used to call these hangmans. What happens when x is 0, what's y? When x is 1, what's y? Everybody. When x is 2, what's y? Okay, so then we can come out here and draw our parabola out there. Let's stop that. I just recorded that. It recorded my screen. It's recording my voice at the same time. I've got an option here. I can play back the recording, export to an MP4 file. Start the recording, and let's just do that. Y equals x squared. Back in the day, as I said, we used to call these hangmans. What happens when x is 0, what's y? When x is 1, what's y? Everybody. When x is 2, what's y? Okay, so then we can come out here and draw our parabola out there. Okay, I could export that to MP4 file in 10 minutes. I can have it out on YouTube. That's the power we have now with technology in our hands, in a device that weighs less than 2 pounds. Let me close this out and get rid of that. And then to wrap up, how are we doing here? To wrap up here on time and take questions and things afterwards, let me go back out to our ITC page and just mention a couple of things. We have a blog, our ITC blog, available right here. Our Tech Talk for Teachers podcast, 157 episodes now. And then TechShare is our YouTube channel. So if I go out there, and I was just doing an example. In fact, I've just posted this today. You know, I talked about that field trip for the, using Skype station or something. Here's an example out on YouTube that I posted, just to give you an idea. I've got this closed caption as well, so let me turn on the captions.
All right, we're back next to our cornfield here. It's mid-October. It's a couple of months after the last video that I shot.
So you can literally take your students out to the cornfield now, just in the matter of just hitting record.
And you can see that the corn has turned a golden brown color. So
All right, I'll stop that. I won't show all of that. Let's just go back here. Let's go to the videos, but where this comes in extremely handy with these screencasts like that flipped learning, I can come out here and go to videos, and here's an example. We've got smart boards available. All right, we have about 3,000 undergraduate teachers out there. There's like one of me, so how does that scale? How can we do? We can go out there and make a screencast, record what I'm doing on the screen. So this is our smart notebook software. And let me just fast forward a little bit. So here I'm showing how to use backgrounds, musical notes.
I've got all these different kinds of notes. I've got whole notes, half notes, 8th notes, 16th notes, and so forth. So I could come up here, or come down here, and then let me just grab very good whole note here, and then grab this one here.
All right, I'll just pause that, but I'm just using this let me just turn the volume down and let that play. Yes?
This caption, the captions are coming with voice recognition thing? These captions. what you say?
No, actually, I have some of my student workers. We go through there literally, and what we do is we make a transcript, And works out really well because I've got some counseling student development folks that have to do this all the time, and they're learning some valuable skills in doing that. But then it matches up the voice recognition. I've had very mixed results. There is an experimental feature in YouTube that says, translate, but it's not very good at all. But if you can match up the phonetic pronunciation with it, with date or with timestamps through the video, it works very, very well out there. And that's, again, education, multimodal learning, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. We want to hit all three of those modalities. And, there actually is some value out here seeing these words at the same time you're being spoken to. So some people learn better reading it like that. Okay? All right, we'll just jump back here. I'll just pause right there. I could go on and on and on and on, but we really are undergoing a revolution, going from the great big 30-pound suitcase to a little device here that I can literally teach the world. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
I'll take any questions or...
Any questions? I have at least 5 questions. Don't have your very start now. Now, I'm a researcher, and part of my research is collecting data. And one of the ways I'm going to collect data is interview. I'm going to interview 20 persons today. And I have certain set of questions that I have. I have 10 questions to ask these 20 people. Is there any tool that I can go and meet with these people? I have appointments with them, so they are not on the spot. They know that I'm taping them. And this thing would take these and sort them out so that after 4 hours of interviewing, I'm not overwhelmed with sorting out the data and so forth.
Yes, OneNote, you can do that depending if you have an x86 processor, which this tablet is. They make this version in ARM processors and x86. You can actually literally record. And one of the features in the full-blown version of OneNote, you can have that recording going in the background, and as I write notes down, in fact, I did this, we had the speaker.
So I have to write.
You can let it record. We can come out here. Let's just go over here. Let's just, let's see, what would be the best app for this? I thought I had it on here.
Because while I'm sitting with the interviewee, I want to concentrate on what he or she is saying and make up my mind on why to continue.
Sometimes
I don't want to type.
Yeah, sometimes we overthink it. I mean, literally, you could go down to Radio Shack and get a $30 little Sony digital recorder and record. Okay. That's perfectly acceptable in doing that. Let me see if I can get this one here going, show you another example. Many of you probably have an app on your phone. See which, I can't remember which input. Yeah, it must be this one. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. Okay, right. Well, that's not the one I wanted. There's one called, I just saw it, Pocket Recorder. Doesn't get much simpler than this. Open this up. There's my app. Hit Start Recording. And we're out there literally recording right now. Yes, I'll allow my microphone to go. In 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So I'm out there. I can have this recording. Stop, play that back, take my notes, record. But what I started to mention in OneNote, right here it is, 1022. All right, so about a 5-second recording. I've got that available to me. And then, of course, I've got the OneNote and things available. With the full version of OneNote, I can go out there, and as I said, as I write my notes, and if I go down to paragraph 3 and click on it, my audio will actually fast forward to what that person's saying. There's also starting to be some free tools out there. I saw on Google, they had some note-taking software that would advance that for like YouTube videos and things as well.
Any other questions? Anybody wants to ask about brainstorming software that helps you think yourself aloud, leave other people immediately think tank or something? Is there any application in how to...
What do you want to think about? Give me a topic.
Learning styles.
Learning styles.
All right, now you get to fill out this mind map. So we'll come up here. We'll make...
Can I change my
Let's just do learning. All right, and then hit this little plus. Here's a node out there. This is like mind mapping software and things available out there.
So you are using brainstorming thing?
Yep, so audio, come out here, learning, video, learning, plus, we talked about flipped classroom.
Now you are inputting these, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are your tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, these are my thoughts. Then I can come out here, once I have these things available, I can come out here, move these things around. If I want audio and video to go together, see how those automatically connect and go back through. But again, I'm kind of old school because I grew up before all these electronic gadgets and things were around. I could just as easily come out here and use a program like Sketchnote, if I can find it. Oop, I'm not finding it exactly. But I could use anything and just do my freehand input, or just use a piece of paper and a pen and pencil, crayons, whatever you want to, magic markers, and then take out your phone, take a picture of it. The other thing OneNote will do, once you take something in as a picture, it has optical character recognition built in, so as long as it's readable, it will translate what's in a picture to text, which makes it searchable within OneNote. Another huge feature.
So I really can do research by using some of these software.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can take my thoughts and turn them, did you say you turn them into readable or?
Yeah, like a picture or something. If I were to take a picture in this book and paste it in, it would do OCR like the old days when we scanned, optical character recognition. It would put that and then take it out into a Word document. So we're combining these tools, over the year. I haven't even mentioned, this comes with Word, so I can open up Microsoft Word. I've got my pen available here. Let's go 100% paperless. Let's open up a document. So right here, this is one of the blog postings that I made, so I can pinch and zoom in, zoom out. When I bring my pen, watch what happens up here. When I bring my pen next to this, oops, I'm sorry, this is my RT. It doesn't accept the pen input. I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I can go out here and review, say start inking, and now then I can come out here and grab my marker, mark this up, save it as a PDF file, ship it off in an email to this dude and say, here, change this, change that, whatever it might be. So, all 100% paperless.
Any other questions?
Yes?
Do you have a list of some of the apps that you would recommend, like on the ITC website or something?
Probably the best thing, if you go to the ITC webpage, now I'll provide this link out there for a couple weeks anyway. I've got all those notes and things that I was going through, and I kind of snuck it in here, but if you scroll down underneath the YouTube videos, you see where it says EIU Technology Science Symposium right here? This link right here underneath Learning Resources. If I click on that link, that will actually take you to OneNote. And this requires a browser, so obviously you have to be connected to the internet for this to work. So if I click on that, that will open up OneNote. It's a web app, which means web apps are great because I don't have to worry about is it an Android, is it an Apple, is it a Windows machine, it doesn't matter, it'll work. It opens this up, and then underneath, over here on the side are my different sections. And I've got one out here that says free ebooks. I'm so used to smartboards, I want to touch everything I want to touch now, TVs, whatever. So I'm going to click over here on free ebooks, and I've actually written 3 ebooks on Windows 8 tablets over the past year, and they're available for free out there as PDF files, and these are some of the apps and things that I've used. So there's a free PDF available for you. That pen and voice. Here's OneNote, a whole section on using OneNote. Screen clippings. SkyDrive, I didn't even mention SkyDrive and the cloud, saving all of our documents out there to a central storage space. So yeah, that would be the best place.
Any other questions? Yeah.
And our Tech Talk for Teachers, our Tech Picks is another good site to do that. Yes?
I have 2 really quick questions.
Okay.
One quick one. Mind Map, was that little app that you did?
MI8.
App?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was on Windows only. MI8. There's also things out there for Android and for Apple as well.
Okay. And then the screenshot you did, you said you could take a picture of the book and transport that into Word. Is it documented? Is there issues or potential issues with plagiarism?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother thing, the plagiarism, privacy, and all of that type thing. Another thing of concern as professors and things, how do we feel about being recording things? I mean, I have a thing in my syllabus that I don't want somebody recording me unless there's, an accessibility need or something like that. Because we've all heard the horror stories, and we tell this to our pre-service students out there as well, K-12. A social studies teacher goes off someday, and just loses it, and the next thing you know, the video's posted out there on YouTube. So these are all policy issues. Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms of things available out there. So yeah, I mean, you just would have to cite a source and things out there as well.
We all know that technology can make us lazy.
Yeah, and then it's the old adage, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I mean, we can do all kinds of things, but there's norms and social norms and things out there.
At the same time, it can make us go to other places.
We just had a presentation on cyberbullying, with the social networks and things out there. So that's a whole nother conversation. Yes, sir.
Where can I go if I want to learn how to use OneNote? Where can I go to find out?
I would, Google's your friend. Google is your friend. I would go out there and say Google, YouTube, Office 2013 is the latest one, and you'll find hundreds of things out there. I put a lot of stock. There's Microsoft Office team puts together a regular series of 20-minute webinars out there that you can actually participate live, have a little chat room, ask your questions, and they take things live back and forth, and then they post those out on YouTube.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
What about providing direction for a student? So let's just say if you have someone out there randomly taking Khan Academy courses and not doing it for a course or something. So is there a chance of just being overwhelmed with information?
Yeah, certainly. Another thing, if you go out in the OneNotes, there's a link out here, a section called Think About It. And I put some kind of those questions about, the social norms and things and plagiarism and things. The Khan Academy, they kind of have it mapped out in a strict way, which is great if you're a student of interest. I mean, some people will just take off, but it's not the be-all, end-all. The other conversation I've had a lot lately with K-12 teachers online is there's a big movement against homework right now in K-12. I'm seeing a lot of parents say, enough's enough. My kid's spending 2 hours doing homework. So when do they do that? Flip learning, when do they have time to watch those videos? It's like, great, yeah, I have all this time. Well, I just took time for my students' home life to do that. So again, lots of moving parts and things to figure about. The other thing in that Think About segment, I've got an article out there on badges, on online badges, because like a certificate or, what's a PhD mean? It's like, I don't care, that's a piece of paper hanging on the wall. Show me what you can do. So there's some badge systems out there for skills, again, particularly in science, engineering, technology. They want to know the skills. Can you do JavaScript? Well, here's a series of courses that I've got. It's kind of like gaming. That's the other big trend, gamification of education. How many points did I get? Then I can go to the next level and keep going.
Is there any software that can give them the idea or the problem, and they click and give you the variables that you need to discuss, and then get you the outcome that you can expect, and you pick and choose, and is it kind of a lazy thing? Or?
I'm not aware. I'd have to think about a specific example of that one, but laying out those word problems, just that one brief little word problem I gave you on tangent, that's essentially what they were doing.
Yeah.
And as crafty math teachers, we would go out there and create word problems and give them all these variables. It's like, well, you need these 3, these other 4 are junk. You could care less about. But students are like, what formula do I plug in where and there? So. Any
other questions? We'll have to bring this to a close. But if you don't have any other questions, please join with me in thanking Dr. Grissom.
Thank you.
For Mike Lett, would you please move